got Assassination together with Amarok over for the team 1. We got Flamin on the team as well. It looks like Flamin is immediately going to be first up versus the Paladin's Beatman. Just going in, blinding everybody. This man is just an absolute crusader, charging out, not giving Flamin even much of a breathing opportunity. What is going on? Wait a second. What is this man doing? Is Flamin having to fight 2 guys at a time? Why is this Worgen Warlock randomly attacking Flamin? Can somebody CC this man? Beat, what is happening? Both you and the Worgen Warlock are attacking this. Somebody tell this guy he's not dueling. Flamin is taking 2 enemies at a time. He's getting 2v1'd. It looks like maybe SP Shady is off to rescue, at least to control one of them. Even Beatman is like confused. He's not even sure. Hold on, Beatman. Shady is trying to see if he can fight Beatman. He's at least keeping his attention. There's opportunity for Amarok to at least maybe get the other arrest. Shady's trying to go for a bit of damage, but oh my god, the horrifying effects. Oh, there's only so much you can really do about it. Wait, I think Beatman is not even like actually throwing judgments. I think it's literally him like proc judgments. Literally just proc judgments. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Give at least my man Flamin a proper duel. Beatman, please don't interrupt him, please. You could fight him stunned as Flamin finally gets himself a proper honor duel. Proper go versus Beatman. It's gonna be mean and trick, and he's got himself portals available. No, Amarok, no. Don't res him, it's fine. Don't res him, no, it's okay. We don't need more reses. It's gonna get confusing. I appreciate you. No more reses. It's just gonna get confusing. I don't want any more confusion. I feel like Beatman and Spiciati had a proper honor duel, proper 1v1. We'll figure it out from there. Flamin taking a lot of damage, so Beatman is just relentless. Oh my god. Massive strikes from the Paladin. Not letting Flamin even get a breather whatsoever. Trying to see if he can chase out Flamin, yet another stun to follow right after, just absolutely blasting him out into smithereens. Big wake-up match is important to follow, but he got no help whatsoever. Beatman trying to see who's going to be the next competitor. He's trying to get super aggressive. He's trying to get everybody in combat. He's like, I'm not sure which one I'm fighting. Who am I fighting? Not really sure. Is it going to be Roth? Is it going to be Amarok? They're trying to figure out who's going to be next. It looks like it is not my boy Roth, but maybe? Oh, maybe it is the mage with the Arcane Barrage Poly in the open, a hand of freedom for Beatman, but it is going to be stolen. The fact that Paladins can never keep the hand of freedoms anymore, it is going to be pretty brutal. Spell Warden for Beatman immediately got himself full immunity to magic damage for Rob. He just has to escape for a little bit here. He's going to go for a bit of the Arcane Missiles, trying to see if he can juke out a kick out of Beatman. As he does get hit with a Hodge onto Rob, is going to get himself, I think, all the time for the mage. Does get himself all the time, so he's going to be plenty healthy, but Beatman was already aware of it. It's going to be minute poly as the hand of freedom comes in, and it's going to spell steal it immediately with an Arcane Orb missiles around. It's going to be burned down. Beatman knocked up in the air for a second into a freeze right after. He's hitting him with every element from Arcane to fire to frost, everything to slow his approach and make sure his escapes are very difficult to handle. Unless Rob just absolutely blasts you out into smithereens, it's gonna go behind the pool immediately. Missiles to fall. It's trying to get frozen. It's gonna be Ring of Fire. Kind of limited what he can really do. Does get him frozen out. It's gonna be Roth trying to get himself a better angle. More missiles around the corner. Beatman is gonna go for a bubble. Expected a lot of damage out of the mage. It's gonna be massive as the Hodge comes out. Gonna be a blink. I think all the time with the ready in case he's ever in trouble. Beatman not really going for a self heal. Could be a bad situation. Does Roth find no more damage? Got himself missiles as well as a barrage. Is gonna do quite a bit of damage with orbs to follow. And Beatman trying to go for as much recovery as he can, while Roth goes in for a more shifting power. Got him some big missiles on Beatman, trying to see if he can escape the execute range with those barrages. As long as he can escape out of an execute, that fire is not going to help whatsoever. In a bad spot, touches the magic. Oh, and does get collapsed with that touch of magic, crushing the Paladin like a big old soda can. With Chicago gonna be up next, at least give an opportunity to heal up fully versus Chicago. Enhancement Shaman versus an Arcane Mage. In most cases, I think Enhancement wins the situation, but we are into higher dampening where Roth can use Ice Block as well as his, with all the time at least, to put himself back in a healthier state, as well as any kind of big immunity abilities. Maybe that can help you, but Chicago, with how much range damage you got, that's just one lightning bolt over Primordial. I mean, that's a lot. Burrows down. Shirov tried to see if he can get himself shooting power. Doesn't a blink in a perfect moment just to escape Chicago on the knockup. And it's going to be Chicago get himself a little bit of health to work with. Big Ring of Frost down is going to end up freezing Shaman, but it's going to be very, very short in terms of the CC. Short duration. Roth knocking him back for a second. Definitely needs a little bit of health. Maybe an Icebox situation. Does go for the block. As we hit in that 10-minute mark, we are at 57% dampening. One big immunity for the mage. He definitely needs to make a big play. No more trigger for Chicago, so maybe you can have yourself a proper go. Chicago ends up blasting out. Is it Beatman? No, ends up blasting somebody out. I think it was SP Shady with a banner. I don't know why he did that. Rob with the full poly. If you can get yourself a proper go in Chicago, This could be massive. He does have line of sight. It is perfect for him. Big freeze, and that's going to be Chicago actually charging in over at Rob. Is it going to be enough to get himself, I think, all the time, trying to see if he can rip that all the time off of him. Chicago dropping out a totem for a second. Is it going to be enough? The wall together with Guardian. Is it going to be plenty of healing? Rob, not really doing all that great. Does have himself all the time to at least reposition away from Chicago. Still super low as a Shaman. Barely trying to recover. Big barrage. You get a super low. Light lots of blink to follow. Does Chicago survive? His barrages are still chipping away at him. Missiles. Oh, I think it was a Battle Master Trinket at the end there. Falling off as a missile struck him, because the missile itself wasn't really doing that much damage, but he just needed just a little bit more damage overall. Big blink by Roth. I think he got himself a proc. All the time not ready yet, so he's waiting for it for a little bit longer. Doesn't really have much health to work with, so you better be extra careful. Ring of Frost to make sense of his approach. A lot more difficult. Rolls right over it. Try to see if he can go for a setup trinket. Until knockback. Rob does not have a lot of health to really work with. Again, all the time's up. Mostly using it for mobility. He will not be able to use this for damage. Sensei taking a lot of damage. Does go for diffuse magic really early on. Still, big touch of the matchup on him. Does go for dampen harm as well. So for Rob, he's whittling out every one of his defensives. In cap, does he have a blink for this one? He may need to. Breath. No trinket. Potentially could be good. If Roth can just cut him out, Karma to follow, you gotta make sure to mitigate the damage. You cannot let him heal. You cannot let this monk heal, but you gotta mitigate this Karma as best as you can. Barrages to keep him slowed. Roth trying to see if he can maybe go for a little bit of recovery. Does get himself images, so it's gonna keep him in combat. Cannot sit down for food. Blink off of that stun. A Sensei, I think, was expecting for the blink immediately. In cap to follow versus Roth. Had himself lots of damage at the ready. That's gonna be Ring of Peace. Arcane Surge is trying to see if he can move for it. It's gonna be all the time to replace him back in a different position. Arcane Surge still gonna blast the guy out. Is it gonna be enough damage? Does he have it? Knockback. A Sensei rolls in into a freeze right after. Got a bit in the corner. Oh, and Roth just ends up drilling him down with those missiles back to back. My goodness. Oh my goodness. Trying to see if he can sit down for food as soon as possible. Who's up next? Is it going to be Diabolical? Is it going to be Nira, potentially? Touch of the Magic is on him. Got him so big obelisk. Trying to see if he can escape Roth as best as he can. He's trying to see if he could kite both the Felguard as well as the Warlock. He's trying to see if he could fight two enemies at once. Icebuck is going to give him a little bit of health. If you're just sitting there the entire time, at least it'll give you some recovery. And 82% dampening, you're not getting much, especially as the guy got a full turn. You have to go for an invis immediately in order to escape this army of demons. He's going to try to see if he can invis. Still got dotted somehow. He's going to be shifting power right after. Get him some cooldown reduction. He needs to find a way to CC all the demons. They are going to walk into the Ring of Frost. Mortico around the corner. Still in the bad spot. Does not have anything. I think it's just over. Yeah, there's just nothing you could do. Together with a Tyrant, together with all these pets, it's just done so much damage. Even if you control the Warlock, you can't control all these pets. Jash is going to be up next. Full blaze of the Diabolicals. Try to go for a kick. Got juked out. Diabolicals give himself a pretty big haze buff and everything. Trying to see if he can go for a little bit of a burst here. But I think Jash may just have him full avatar already. He just needs a couple more executes. I think Diabolicals just at this high dampening. There's nothing you can do with a Fear Warrior blasting you. There's only so much you can really get done. Yeah, so that whole like attacking a guy while another guy's fighting, I'm glad we got it solved out, but this is a proper opportunity for Nira's to at least get himself a proper 1v1 duel. Trying to go for a bit of a hunt is Jash. Morticoil. Nira's not really have a lot of health to work with. Reflect up for Jash. Goes in for Shadow Up for a second. I think it's just an execute away or two and it's over. Yeah, well done, well done. Seawork absolutely popped off there, man. Well done. I feel like if that game wasn't super high in dampening, maybe there was opportunity for you to recover, but that's a lot to ask for. That is definitely a lot going on.